You don't own me.
Booking a room with 2 beds at a hotel isn't exactly your idea of a romantic getaway. Orbitz gets it. Visit orbitz.com/pride to find hotels that welcome you to travel as you are. Orbitz. Travel as you are.
So just let me be myself to say and do whatever I please.
Thanks for listening to the Von Hessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, and beyond, Hour 1 of the Von Hessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Hessler. The other voices you hear are the Doctrinaires. Man of 1,000 voices, Tim Andrews. Lady of quite a few voices in her own right, Autumn Fisher. The man behind the glass, Shaney B. And the handsomest producer in all of producery, Jared Yamamoto.
And I hope you have that Friday feeling, Eric.
Whatever that is. I don't know how you can have anything other than a Friday feeling on a Friday.
Don't itch it. Don't itch it.
No, oh, really? Just let it,
it'll go away on its own. Don't itch it.
Itching makes
that
it
Friday
worse.
rash.
Yeah, if I don't, I keep itching, it'll be Friday on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
If I just put up with it until midnight, then it'll go away.
Yes.
And I'll get those Saturday feelings.
Oh,
which
stressful Saturday?
Stressful Saturday. I don't know. Saturday for me is usually recuperating Saturday. I really do have this thing where Friday night, I'm never further from Monday morning. And I tend to be a little bit excessive. So Saturday, usually I want to sleep until 2, but I feel bad about it. So I just walk around the house in a daze. I'm getting up at 10. I'm not a useless, but I really am useless. But I don't want my family to see me as the guy who's now sleeping until 2. So I do get up, and I am there, but I'm not really there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually I've crashed at about 5:30 in the morning. Because to me it's just like, oh, hey, work is never further away than now. I mean, surely I can read that, not read, but go down that rabbit hole of string theory or some such thing. You add string theory to gummies and wine, you got yourself an evening.
That's a hell of a night.
You got yourself an evening right there.
Plus, that's not a very healthy sleep cycle. If you're going to bed at 5:30, that's usually when you're waking up.
I don't know. It's terrible. They say that if you want to live longer and keep a face that doesn't look like it's 80 when you're 57, what they say is that you should keep the same sleeping schedule throughout the weekend that you have. But I've never done that. I mean, we start the show at 9. I wake up at 5:30 because I want to beat the traffic in, so I'm here by 6:30. Most of my radio career, I was on in the mornings, so I was waking up between 3:30 and 4 because the show would start by like 5:30. You know what? That means you're going to bed between 7 and 9 p.m. You know what I'm not doing on the weekend when I don't have to wake up the next morning? Going to bed between 7 and 9 p.m.
Fair enough.
Just not going to happen. I suppose if I was smart, I would do it, right? Because then I'd go ahead and wake up at 5:30, and I'd have this nice, pleasant weekend. This is what I tell myself. But I am not very influential over me in that area.
Well, you get the early bird special for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll get out there. I'll get to IHOP. I think the
Piccadilly?
Yeah, Piccadilly. Are they still around?
Yeah, man.
I haven't been to a Piccadilly in forever.
They're my favorite.
Jared loves the Piccadilly.
Yeah.
Piccadilly have been around forever. I remember when I lived in Baton Rouge. So I was probably 12 or 13 when I was 13 or 14. Me and my buddy, we would a couple other buddies, we would just spend all day at the mall. This is when malls were malls. They were a thing. Action was happening.
Yeah, there were people there.
Kind of a new thing. Yeah, it wasn't just senior citizens
walking.
in air conditioning.
From Sears to
my
the
steps.
Yes, we go to the orthopedic shoe store and then we go back to Sears.
I wonder how many actually senior citizens that walk in the mall now actually were 14 and 15-year-olds menacing the mall
Playing
back in
Pac-Man.
the old days. It's like,
Mall rats.
It really is. It's like it's like senior mall rats. But I remember that we would spend all day at the mall. God, we had very little money, so I don't know what the heck we did. We just had fun hanging out. We didn't do too much stealing. Although I'm sure.
Neither did I.
I'm sure that I never had too much of a coward to be a thief. It's not as if I've never stolen things from stores, but it was never something that I did as a habit because I'm just too cowardly. And so I'm sure some of the people in the gang from time to time would, while somebody's looking the other way, steal something from Spencer's Gifts or whatever.
You ever put your money in the fountain and take the coins out? Or put your hand in the money fountain and take coins out?
Yeah, it's hard to do because the fountains are, God forbid 7 less cents go to charity. I mean, really, is there anything?
But to be the person
Yeah.
reaching your hands into that water
I did it.
around everyone.
But I mean, it's so easily seen. I mean,
Yeah.
the fountains, it's not like the fountains are over in the corner. I mean,
Look over there.
Hey, there's teenagers stealing out of the fountain. It's not long before the security guy shows up.
And you're
Yes,
taking
Jared.
and you're taking away somebody's wish when you do that.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, you're
No,
subtracting.
you still get your wish.
That's why I didn't get a pony that would ride me to the moon.
Andrews took my wish away.
Hey, I got baseball cards of that cash, lady.
How dare you,
Kids.
stealing wishes from other human beings?
The wish thief.
I remember not really even ever I remember the first time I was ever like 5 or 6 at a mall. Yeah, I don't even think I even believed it then. Like, do you really believe it? Yeah. How does this work?
Throw this penny in
Wait a
here?
minute, hold on. You're an adult. You're trying to explain how the world works to a 6-year-old. I throw a penny in. I get what I want. This is how the world
Well, you
works.
believe
If you
that
blow
a
out
guy-
all the candles in
Yeah.
one breath, then
Yeah.
that also comes true.
And you believe that
And
if you
don't
put
tell anybody.
a tooth under your pillow, a bug put money under your
Yeah. Yeah.
I still believe
Now
that.
that I believe because
Okay.
they stopped it pretty early.
Yeah.
By the time I was 7, it's like, hey, kid, fairy doesn't come and count all the
Someone might
teeth
be listening.
of all the children in the
You probably
world.
need to hit a disclaimer if you're going to say that.
Oh,
I
man.
still believe in the
Eric
tooth fairy.
Von Hansler, I was in the car with my children, and you started talking about things that I didn't want them to hear.
I apologize. The tooth fairy
The
does
time is
exist.
9:10.
Thank you for the time check. The Rock is the tooth fairy, kids. So he counts all the teeth that are lost on a daily basis in America. Is the tooth fairy supposed to be planet-wide or just America? Is that a creature of America?
No, because in other countries, it's a mouse
Oh, okay. So
that
it's
comes and like they collect teeth to like put teeth into their old mouses.
different cultures. They would be mice. Different culture, different mouses. Delicious mouses.
I made it harder for myself.
And the octopuses.
In China, it's the two soldier.
Hey, no whoops. That is a James Bond film.
Oh, right.
So there's no whoops there. If James Bond can say it, I can say it. So the reason I started this, but the Piccadilly, so me and my buddy and a couple other buddies, it was a great scam we used to run. So you didn't have to pay until the end. I don't know how it is now, but back then, I don't know if they've reformed it from the Von Hessler Baton Rouge days, but back in the old days, you went, you got your food, you ate. See, now you probably pay at the end of the cafeteria line like you're at school or something. Back then, you went, this is probably 1977 or so. Back then, you went through the line, ate, and then on the way out, you paid your bill.
Oh, okay.
And we were kids, so what would happen is I would go up like I was going to pay, and my buddy David would leave through the front, through the other door. And then, so you're standing in line, and as I'm behind an adult that's paying, my friend breaks in the line from the other side and says, "Hey, Mom's here. We got to go. Let's go." And I would go, and they would never think about it. Like, they would never think about it because you're 13.
Yeah.
So they think, oh, was this with somebody else? So, hey, Mom's here. We got to go. And I would go join him, and we'd leave, and that's how you ate at Piccadilly. And if you have to pay for your Piccadilly food now at the end of the line, like you're in a school cafeteria, I think you can blame Eric Von Hessler, his buddy David, and other friends from Baton Rouge back in the old days.
I think that
Bon Marché Mall. Boy, did we rip off that Piccadilly.
I think there has been some Piccadilly reform since then.
I think so.
Piccadilly reform.
But you know what? Now I'm an adult. I don't care. Hey, you 13-year-olds, you're on your own.
Did you ever take your chicken wing bones into a department store and put them in the pants pockets
No, what?
clothes that
Hold on. Were you born in Haiti or something? Did you,
No. I'd finish eating chicken wings, and then for
and then
fun.
you crack an egg into a bowl and you read the shells or something.
No. It was.
Did you assassinate that president? What's going on?
No.
There's a lot of voodoo going on here.
I would take the chicken wing bones and then stick them in pant pockets in stores.
Just for fun.
And then, they'd have to find them later. They'd be all rotten and stinky.
Ew, that would be horrifying. Putting on some pants in a dressing room.
Yeah, and you put your hand in
pocket.
I did not. I gotta say, I did not have that kind of cruel streak when I was a kid. I never threw eggs at cars or anything like that.
Spit a loogie on the railing of an escalator and then watch the streak as it.
Oh, I have done that before.
Never liked the gross stuff.
Yeah,
I'm calling the police.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead. Statute of limitations.
There is no statute of limitations on two things: murder and loogies. On the escalator.
Call the Arnott Mall security in New York.
Oh, is that where it was? I passed that mall on the Southern Tier.
Arnott Mall on Route 17, the Southern Tier Expressway.
Yeah, I never stopped there.
Oh, you're not missing anything.
Well, I missed out on your spit on the escalator railing.
40 years ago, you could play Dragon Slayer, but you can't now.
Dragon Slayer?
Yeah.
What's that?
That was the first video game that it was like a cartoon. It had really good graphics.
Yeah.
Very boring game.
Yeah, I bet you didn't spit on that because you needed that.
No.
What the hell is this in my pocket?
Ooh,
what the hell, Tim? What the hell?
He's never been reformed. Oh, now we gotta wait? Why couldn't she just let us know right there?
That was a bad tease.
Ah, my goodness. Now I gotta sit here and listen to this crappy show until we get to weather again.
It's that funny show in the morning, right?
Yeah, I love that funny show they have in the
I like that show in the morning.
I wanted to change it. I want to change it this way going, I hate that funny show they have in the morning.
I just want news.
Mark Aram heard our Piccadilly story. And he has a... So I guess now you, because of what Eric Von Hessler and his buddy David Schultz did in the 70s in Baton Rouge, you used to be able to go to Piccadilly, eat your food, and then you paid on the way out. Now I guess it's like a school cafeteria. You got to pay at the end of the line. You get your food. And Aram just texted that he had an incident.
Yeah, he said the first time I ever went to Piccadilly, I thought it was a buffet. I got to the end of the line, and they charged me $56.
Wow, that guy must have a good metabolism.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd be 800 pounds if it was his kind of, hey, it's a buffet. I'm going to eat everything we got here.
I got a sack full of mac and cheese.
Got a sack
and a
full
pocket
of
full of chicken bones.
That's right. Yeah, the chicken bones, that's not what I didn't put. They just ended up in my pocket.
Yeah.
So, what, we got some open mics here. I'm testing out a new, a new branding. I'm thinking about branding. They say you got to think about your brand, Tim Andrews.
What's your brand? Yeah. Protect the brand.
The Von Hessler Doctrine, the name Eric Von Hessler. What do you think of this? Eric Von Tastic.
I like that.
Oh, I'm writing that down.
It might get confusing for people. We'd have to call it the Von Tastic Doctrine.
Should we send that to our consultant, Clyde Cliverson?
Hey,
I'll be testing that.
Yeah, test it.
Let me get the room of idiots here.
Research it. Take it to a Holiday Inn. Get the dials going.
We'll have snacks.
See what the morons think, and bring it back to me. Let me know. Prod it like it's an alien body that you found.
I don't like it.
Yeah, bring your own napkins.
This lady from Duluth says she does not like Eric Von Tastic. Well, could you tell her?
I don't like it. It reminds me of that cleaning solution.
Would you like him if you got a coupon?
I might change my mind.
They still do that. That's inside talk. People don't know what I'm talking about. Shaney B's closer to this. They still do the dial testing things and Holiday Inns to research bits.
Like Las Vegas, I think they do.
Well, it's a little more high tech these days.
Oh, that's
no
right.
more dials, but yeah,
you can do it online now.
Those focus groups are kind of cool when you're on the other side of the glass.
You're
kind of watching.
I've seen every good idea I ever had at the time go down the drain. It was
you do see that. You're like, wow, this is great. And they're like, that sucks.
I'm breaking that glass and telling these people are idiots.
Yeah, don't you know what good radio is supposed to sound like?
Sense of humor? One of the first things that I ever wrote and brought to the table as a producer of a radio show was an incredibly funny vomiting clown, birthday clown named Chucko the clown. He was great. He was a great clown, but he had a nervous stomach and would quite often end up vomiting everywhere. And then he'd say things, just present me with a dry cleaning bill. Hilarious stuff. And boy, the dials, the way the dials work is they get people in a room like it's a political thing and given their demos, like one's a blue line, so that'd be men, and one's a red line, that'd be like women. And you, so as they're playing the bits, you can see the dials. So like, and as my vomiting clown came up, whoa, all three converged down to the ground. And we never had Chucko the birthday clown again, and that was a hilarious bit.
If I was on that panel, you would have seen a spike right off the charts.
We had the wrong demo, so I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of those.
I think you're still bitter about this, Eric.
I am bitter about it. Come on.
You can still do it.
Why don't we bring it to this show?
Yeah, and then you have your own show now.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
To listen
well,
to
I had my
Philistines.
buddy. My buddy was the one who played it, and it was just absolutely it's fantastic.
You still know him?
Of course. At one point, somebody was in the comedy group with me, and he would do public appearances. And one time we gave away Gloria Estefan was all that back then, and Gloria Estefan was coming to town, and we gave away a date with the vomiting clown to Gloria Estefan, and he was method. He would stay in character for like 6-7 hours. And we still have a picture of Chucko and Gloria Estefan, and the look on her face of bewilderment is unbelievable. Gloria Estefan at this vomiting clown. He didn't really vomit in person, but he would get upset. He had an upset stomach. And one time we had a bunch of kids. A bunch of kids were coming in from camp whatever,
Camp
locally.
Pugalami?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a camp, and a bunch of kids were coming in, and we thought, hey, let's have Chucko come in. Because he's method actor, and like he was with all these kids, and I was producing the radio show. And about an hour in, because he's supposed to stay the whole show because the kids were there, and about an hour in, he did not break character. I have to give credit to my buddy Duncan. He did not break character. He had the rainbow wig on, all clowned out, and he walked up to me halfway through the show, right in front of my face, and he said, "Chucko's leaving now." And I said, well, you're supposed to be here for another hour and a half. Chucko just got pantsed. Chucko's leaving now.
Still in character.
Apparently the kids were a little cruel. So
Kids can be cruel.
Kids can be cruel. I have found, especially to clowns.
Yeah.
Most clowns deserve it. My vomiting clown did not deserve those children or those adults with their stupid dials. You have some open mics?
Yes. This first one is a critique of the show here, Eric.
What's up, Von Hessler?
What's up?
It's David from Woodstock. I don't know why you feel the need to shield us from your rants. I love them. Bring them on.
Okay, you think that, but the problem with rants, the problem with having opinions these days is it just goes nowhere. It's no fun. There's no exchange of ideas. There's no, if you have a political opinion and you espouse that political opinion these days, to me, it's like spitting in the wind. It's just back on your face before you know it. I mean, it's just, there's nothing satisfying about it. And I want this show to be kind of an oasis in the midst of all of this crazy nonsense and, Jennifer Aniston, you're not my friend anymore if you don't do what I just like,
Clickbait.
Should I come on and condemn Jennifer? Why, I think that when Jennifer, in one ear, out the other ear, another guy. So what I do is I do my emotional ranting at home in the mirror, get it off my chest, so that hopefully I can just come in here and just drop a little knowledge. This is what's going on. Be reasonable. I'm waiting for logic and reason to regain its currency in America. I'd probably be dead before that happens, but you never know. I'm still slightly hopeful. It's interesting to me. Whenever there's a team, a duo, especially if it's men, that get famous for what they do, you always find out afterward they hated each other.
Abbott and Costello? Abbott
and Costello hated each other? I have no personal experience with this. But I find it very interesting. It just seems to have Abbott and Costello hated each other. Think of some other and anybody. Bob and Ray. People don't even remember them. They hated each other. The guy. What was the science show for years where they test theories and Mythbusters.
Mythbusters.
Those two guys hated each other.
Really?
Oh,
What?
absolutely.
No
You
way.
could tell.
Hated
that guy,
each other.
Yes, the guy with the mustache was annoyed.
Yeah,
constantly.
they hated
old-timey.
Never talked to one another. And now I find out the American Pickers hate each other.
Yeah.
Hate each other.
Well, the fat guy doesn't fit the demo anymore.
Is that why they got rid of him?
Yeah.
So this guy is saying, the one who left, and then the other guy had one of those corporate statements like, "We appreciate his." And the guy, then the first guy, he says, "Who's the first guy?" The guy who left is like Fritz. Is that his name? I didn't really watch American Pickers, but he was the shorter guy, a little stouter, a heavier fella, heavy set short fella. The other guy's a little bit of a string bean. And so after they did the corporate, kind of thing of we're going to miss Fritz and everything, Fritz comes back on. Mike's statement was bull S. Somebody wrote it out for him. We were never friends in grade school. I don't believe in 10 years he said 5 nice things to me,
Dang.
So these guys hated each other. That's why you don't want to go with the partnership. So what you need is you need a leader, right? And then a bunch of other people who help the leader attain the leader's goals. So I think that the setup we have right here, where no one has any doubt who the most important member of the crew is, the host of the show.
Oh, Autumn Fisher.
She would fall into the minions. So you have the host on top.
Minion.
And then, hey, you're not the lowest level goons. You're a minion. And what I'm saying is, hey, listen, you can say that sounds harsh, but do we get along? Yes, we get along.
Yes.
Well, Autumn and Greg are having their problems, but you can find that out on their own podcast.
I hate Greg.
One topic. I mean, it certainly is a Fleetwood Mac 1975 situation we've got going here. But for the most part, we all get along. The reason? We all know who the titular head of the von Hessler doctrine is, and that would be the guy who has von Hessler in his name. Well, we have some open mics.
Jared Von Hessler?
Jared Von Hessler. We should be like the Ramones. Everybody has his
Tim
Von
Von
Hessler.
Hessler.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a good idea.
Eric Yamamoto.
That's going to be coming soon. Oh, yeah. He got Judd to mention that give him a promo because his Power Pod. What are you filling in tonight for Word on the Street?
Yes, we are.
Did you know this coming in, or just
I
find this
found
out?
out yesterday around 4:30 in the afternoon, so I was very happy about it.
So what time is this going to happen tonight?
This will be from 9 to midnight when Word on the Street is always on.
Must be because they know I have a kid. They didn't want me to fill in.
Yeah,
Probably. That's probably
Probably.
what it is,
You're too
yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
You're too busy with little Gilbert.
Yeah.
No, that's I thought about that. Well, as soon as I heard that the Power Pod was tapped to replace Word on the Street tonight, they had the night off, right?
No, they're filling in for Mark Aram, so it's
Mark's going back to Piccadilly.
Yes.
To demand a refund.
Yes.
And Word on the Street will be in for
Hey,
Mark.
buddy.
And then we
from
have
4
a
to 7.
special with Phil Holloway talking about crime in Atlanta.
And then
the
the Power.
we're right there afterward.
We never mentioned Hannity. Isn't he in there somewhere? No.
Hannity's only doing the 3 o'clock.
I'll be
hour.
on for 5 minutes between 7:58 p.m. and 8:03 p.m.
I think he's still on the station from time to time. I think he's. There you go, Sean. There's a little.
Coming up today on the show, we'll be speaking with Sarah A. Carter and the likelihood of President Trump assuming his position that he actually legally won. We got Creepy Joe. We're going to be talking about him grabbing a little girl there and talking about the crime bill, or whatever bill he's talking about, infrastructure.
There you go. Oh, your time is up. Yeah.
95.5.
Time to go. Drive carefully. So, Power Pod tonight. You think you got what it takes?
I'm ready, man.
You taking phone calls?
He gets beat up by all these millennial women on Power Pod.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's okay.
Are you the titular head of the Power Pod? No,
I was waiting for that. Yay.
it's Randy Okray here. She's the head of that thing.
Everybody knows I'm the head.
Are you afraid of sometimes? Do you get afraid of your assembled panel?
Not at all.
I mean, a bunch of. I mean, nothing. I don't want to be misogynist here, but you get a lot of ladies.
Well, you are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was born that way. All right, respect me.
All right, Lady Gaga.
You get a lot of 3-4 ladies up against you. No man.
And sometimes we disagree on things.
Oh, yeah?
But other times we agree on things.
You ever get violent? You ever get, not that you would actually get violent, but I mean, do you ever get like red in the face? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Oh, Alice to the moon.
Have to. Here's the thing,
now your fiance is on this Power Pod.
Yes,
you guys ever take a disagreement home with you?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
These guys are just too optimistic. Do you guys ever fight?
Of course we fight.
What do you fight about?
All kinds of things.
Finances.
Finances
He's never
come
gonna
up.
give you an answer.
He's not. No, he's always going to.
I'm trying to think of a specific thing.
We
at
fight
the
all the
moment.
time. We're constantly fighting.
For Jared, be quite honest with you, I don't know if the wedding's going to happen. We're not going to hear anything like that. We're not gonna, but Jared, for Jared, the Yamamoto marriage is a brand, and he needs to keep that. It's the Yamamoto marriage.
The biggest issue that Tina and I run into as a couple, and I'm being dead honest with everybody here, is that
she's smarter than you.
Well, that's for sure. But one of the things that we disagree with is I always tell her to take a stance on something. Like a lot of times we'll get to a decision. It's like, okay, all right, I need to make it. What are my plans for tonight, right? And I'm like, you make the decision. Don't let
she
me
won't
make all
the
the
decision.
She's like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this. I'm like, no, just decide.
She wants you to decide.
Make the decision.
Like, you're the man. Make the decision.
I make the decisions.
Excuse me. Are you her dad?
Excuse her. I'm a feminist. I'm stepping in for you. You could back off here, Autumn. Excuse her.
Yeah.
That was a very misogynist thing to say.
Well, I'm just saying, she wants him to be the man, take the lead, make the decisions.
Well, and what I tell her is that 90% of the time I make the decisions, and sometimes it's nice to be able just to coast and let decisions be made.
Oh, it's so hard to be a man.
Sometimes he wants to be a bottom.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Bottom nails.
Exactly.
He
That's
he
what it
doesn't
is.
always want to be a top.
That's
He's
right.
a verse.
Sometimes.
And she needs to accept that.
That's right. Sometimes.
Nobody in our relationship wears the pants. We each have a pant leg.
Oh.
But I bring home the bacon. She fries it in a pan.
Who wears the skirts?
Have you guys ever had an argument so bad that one of you was crying?
Yes, absolutely.
Was Jared. Always Jared.
Was that ever you?
No,
No one's ever seen Jared cry.
No.
I mean, he's had
too
legitimate
good-looking
reasons.
to cry.
He's had legitimate reasons to cry. He lost his mom a couple of years ago, but I've never seen him just be so upset about something that you cried.
Well, because I'm a little reserved about that. That's
Are
why
you?
I usually find a moment and then I cry.
You have a crying corner?
I do have a crying corner.
I'm surprised
no
you
one can
haven't
see
made
you?
him cry.
No. Have I ever made you cry?
No, never made me cry, but you've made me angry before.
Oh yeah, I know what happens. But the thing is, when he gets angry, he becomes like. You ever see? Like you come upon the point where the cat has been toying with the mouse long enough that the mouse is still alive, but the mouse has already accepted the fact that he's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
And he just kind of shuts down.
Yeah.
Just sort of like, okay, do with me what you will. I can't win. That's what happens when Jared gets mad at me. He just kind of like, and his eyes start going real fast back and forth. And then I know I need to back off. He's a little sensitive.
So what I do in those circumstances, what I've learned is that oftentimes when whether it's you or if it's anybody that's toying around with me, I'm like, fine, you know what? You just toy around by yourself. You play you go play with your toys by yourself. I'll exit out of the situation.
And I'm thinking you will be playing by yourself soon because I'm getting you the hell off the show. But you know what happens is time heals all wounds, right?
Hey,
right, Autumn?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not enough time has passed by, but that will apply to you.
It's fine.
Your wounds as well at some point.
I'm going to say something funny now.
There's still scars, though.
You should be very proud of all of the growth and development that you've bestowed upon me here, Eric.
Yeah, but I don't pay attention to you, so I don't really realize that. People tell me. People tell me that's happening, but I don't listen to this show. I don't listen to anything. I just go home and I really have almost kind of a media blackout when I'm home.
You know what you should do?
I listen to music and go down rabbit holes.
Go back.
Not conspiracy theory rabbit holes.
String theories.
Maybe some of that, or what was going on with Blue Oyster Cult in 1974. This is what I find entertaining. Yes.
When you go home, listen back to one of the first Von Hessler Doctrine Sunday shows when we were on from 12 to 2 on Sundays.
You were a goofball.
But it's not even me, though. It's not even me. Listen to Autumn, how much she's grown. Listen to Tim, like when he first came on board with us, too. Everybody has grown so much. We've become such a family.
Because of me.
Because of your leadership.
Absolutely.
I'm giving you credit right here.
It's too late. I already told the muckety-mucks in my big meeting yesterday, if you need to find money, just take it from Jared. It's too late. It's too late for you.
I thought that would work.
Siphon it out of his paycheck.
Do we have any
distribute it.
any headlines? We got Biden and the infrastructure. Listen, if people don't know that that's a load of BS, what am I going to do?
Hey, we're going to put a DUI thing in your car.
Yeah, what is that? In the infrastructure bill, apparently, buried in the infrastructure bill somewhere.
It's an alcohol monitor.
At some point, every new car has to have an alcohol monitor built into it.
What?
Oh, because I remember us bringing that up as a nation and debating it. No, I don't. We didn't. It's just, hey, it's only $10 billion. Throw that in there. But does anybody know why this is happening? Does anybody have any idea? Does anybody believe for 1 second, and this should be the ruling thing here for everybody. This infrastructure bill is over 2,000 pages long. Does anybody believe for 1 second that any of the members of the House or Senate have read all 2,000 pages?
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's where you should just tap out. I'm done following people. I'm done following leaders. When I vote, I will just decide who I think will hurt me less, and I will vote for that person. We just gloss over that. So we have all these people in the House and the Senate. What's the House, 435 or something? The Senate's easy to remember. It's 100. So you got like 535 some odd people that will vote on spending $1 trillion on a bill that none of them have fully read. That's it, folks. The bicycle's broken. You have to get off and get a new bicycle. The wheels don't work. Stop just acclimating and accepting. Or if you do, stop following people. Vote based on policy and what you think. Because these people, at least at the national level, are all full of shh. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You're a smart kid. Imagine that. We all just accepted. Oh, nobody read it. And we're already $28 trillion in debt. But they're just going to print another $1 trillion. Nobody read it. And we all just accept it.
There's nothing that seems scripted. Everything's just off the cuff.
The Von Hessler Doctrine.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Honestly. So this is a bill for infrastructure. $1 trillion or more, thereabouts, 1.1, 1.5. It keeps... They said it was going to be revenue neutral. Right. Right.
Sure.
Yes. Another thing that we know that you don't believe, but you just got acclimated to it a long time ago, so you don't challenge us on these things. Over 2,000 pages in this bill. Nobody listening to me believes that any senator or member of the House has read all 2,000 pages. Now, they do have law clerk type, intern type people who actually do, but all they're looking for is ways to brag about what you brought. You know, just bullet points. I voted for it because we're going to get more money for transportation systems in Peoria. Okay. Did you ignore the rest of it? Where, you know. But without even getting into the thises and the that's. 2,000 pages that nobody read. I looked this up. How many pages was the original Constitution of the United States written in longhand on parchment? 4. The entire country has been held together by the glue of the words on 4 pages. This is longhand. If they had computers, I doubt it would be over 2. The entire 240 plus years has been held together by a 4-page document that everyone has read. But this one bill that's going to spend $1 trillion over 2,000 pages. You know what 1,500 pages are? All the people that don't have to do this, all the carve-outs. Basically, if you gave us this much money, these rules don't apply to you. That's why you need so many pages. If you gave the right politicians the right amount of money, we need a lot of pages to explain why these rules that apply to other people who didn't give us money don't apply to you. Hour 2 of the Von Hessler Doctrine begins right now. Before we get to Greg Russ, there's an article from CNN Health.
Oh.
I knew those people at WSB, you're on CNN.
Fake news.
People spend half of their lives not focused on the present, research says. And then the article says, here's how to change it. Now, neurosis is thinking about thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're already thinking of the wrong things, you know, I'm going to have to get you for a good long time, not on the format of this show, to get you to understand that the only thing that is ever really true is the present. There's no such thing as the past. You can't go there. There's no such thing as the present. I mean, the future. You can't get into the future. And as the great Alan Watts once said, it is the eternal now. It is always now. And if you want to get your head around things, you're going to have to realize that. Stop being embarrassed by the past, you know, unless you kill a drifter or something. But I mean, if you're like most of us.
Nobody knows. Why would you be embarrassed?
Stop being embarrassed by the past and stop being worried by the future, because none of those things are ever going to be realities. It will always be right now, as long as you're alive on this planet, and you just kind of have to deal with that. But this article says now the word, you know, somebody made a bunch of money coming up with the term mindful. Oh, I'm gonna make books. So according to CNN, you don't want to take a walk. Take a mindful walk.
Oh, good.
You might think stretching would do a good job. No. According to this, try mindful stretching. What about everyday tasks? You can get lost in them, right? There's sort of a Zen, and make everyday tasks mindful. I'll tell you something Eric Von Hessler knows. The search for happiness makes you miserable. Let's do this.
He's a misanthrope, he has a dark heart, and he needs a good psychiatrist.
New York.
It's Greg Russ with stories from Studio B1.
I don't know whether he's going to be more mindful or miserable on this Friday, but hello, Greg Russ.
Well, I think mindfulness feeds misery
Yes.
for me. The more I think about my brain and being in the moment and present makes me realize that I'm actually just a brain trapped in a skull.
Well, that's
trapped
neurosis.
and
See?
the misery builds off of that. So
Yeah, people just need this. This is where it comes, you know, and sometimes the answers are simple but not easy. But the answer is still simple. It's just easy to get out there. And the answer is, as you become an adult, at some point you have to look around and go, oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be. Okay, all right. Now it's really more about acceptance. You know,
it is hard to accept that.
It is. People feel, this is what leads to misery, Greg, that people become convinced if they just get their ducks in a row by next Wednesday at noon, they'll be happy. Doesn't work that way. Go ahead.
I think it's correlated to this movement to stay a child forever with the adult ball pits and slides on roofs and things like that. I think part of that may be a overcompensation, a mechanism to protect yourself when your adult life isn't going the way you thought it would be, so you just retreat back to this place.
We all know
there's my pop psychology.
If adults want to retreat back to some place, we have alcohol. That's the way it's supposed to be done.
Well, that's avoidance. Yeah. I don't know if that's retreating.
I'm just saying it's better than a slide on your roof into or adults playing in a ball pit. You want to talk about avoidance? You think alcohol's avoidance? 28-year-olds jumping around in a ball pit. That's avoiding adulthood.
Well, there's putt-putt too, guys.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with a nice night out. I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm just saying recognize when you're a kid, you're sold a bill of goods. Hey, just do your homework. Do what your parents say. Everything, hey, it'll be, the world is messy. The world is kind of equal parts beauty and tragedy, and you have to deal with that, right? You just have to be able to accept who you are. Now, if you've got a nervous system that won't cooperate, they got pills for that, but you just have to kind of accept You just accept the world and then do the best you can. You're probably not going to change the world. There's maybe 15 people in history that have. You're probably not one of them. But what you can do is you can look at the world and think, well, where do I plug in to where the energy of this whole thing helps me get to where I want to go? It's a better way to do it. And, if you need some drug to keep you from getting angry, go ahead and take it. But you're going to get further in life if you don't get angry. Right, Tim Andrews? I wasn't looking at you specifically.
You were staring right at me as you said that. When have you known me to ever get angry?
Honestly, since the pills came in, very rarely. Greg Russ.
Is tragedy not beautiful, Eric?
Well, no, it's not beautiful. Well,
it can
tragedy,
be, depending on the lens.
You can make a beautiful film about something tragic, but that's art. That's a different thing. But no, if you lose someone, a loved one at a very early age, you're not going to find that's tragedy.
I'm not saying the act itself is beautiful, but if you take the feeling, the emotion, where does beauty come from? What is beauty? I think it's
we don't know.
Us realizing, though, that we do exist in this strange world, that the fact we're here is insane to begin with, and then things that make you feel, at least for me, something that makes me feel anything. I don't want to feel bad, but there's something there. There's an element to that. It's like, okay, there maybe is beauty, but you have to separate.
You know what?
I
really do.
If your dog dies, you're not happy.
Yeah, and you're starting to have the rationale of a cutter. Hey, don't we have some? This will make you happy. I hope we have an open mic.
I just have to say that lately, Greg Russ has been on fire. All aboard the Russ bus. Choo choo.
Now let's forget the fact that he went with a train noise after.
Honk honk.
That's all right.
You get it, Greg. You get it.
But
I get it. That's nice.
It's a nice gesture.
Here's the good thing is it's not a nice gesture. It's nice words. The good thing is today's show is already going to be called the Russ Bus, and Tim Andrews is creating that artwork right now. So you can tune into that. You have any stories from Studio B1? After all, that is the name of the segment.
I do have some stories. Along with cufflinks, fancy hats, doormen saving Africa, rich people have a new thing they're into, Eric. Absolutely enormous crystals.
Now, is this are these new agey crystals?
There's like amethyst, big amethyst geodes.
Yes.
We have.
Yes, that's right. We have gigantic crystals, and they're made of. Well, there's quartz, and there's all sorts of like pyrite and things like that. But you find them, darling, don't you? In the
yes.
Yes, well, we ordered them.
I've got a small amethyst in my pocket, but we've got a large one in our foyer.
Yes, and when you come into the house in the foyer, so before you enter, you must rub your hands on it so you get some of that good energy and bring it to the house.
Wow, you guys
none of that ridiculous pink Himalayan sea salt.
No. You know
it's
a Himalayan sea salt lamp. We threw that away a month ago.
That's for the little people.
Well, we threw it away, but we still buy it in the store.
Oh, darling, I forgot to tell you, I've got an enormous garnet that I've picked up.
Oh, yes, turn the light on so the energy can everything run out. Have you ever
Yes, it's a full moon. We have to recharge
Oh,
them.
yes, we do.
Okay, the point's been made. Obsidian is the way I would go.
Greg can only hold on.
He
I have
only
to
likes
explain.
volcanic glass.
Hey, the Richies. Don't you understand that Greg does not like voices? And
well, I don't like them either. We're just sharing our love of
I don't dislike
crystals
voices.
and things.
Moderation. Wait, you're going to let this go the rest of the segment? Is that going to go on for another 5 minutes?
It sounds to me like you don't like voices very much, but that's okay.
That's all right. Okay. All right. What do you... So
even candy. Look, even candy, I like it. There's a point.
Candy.
Yeah. So you've got...
Tummy starts to hurt.
You had gotten the audio equivalent of getting near a canker sore listening to that thing, and it's a little is enough, as Pete Townsend once sang.
Speaking to these crystals.
Toward me.
Well, Greg can only afford the cubic zirconia version of that. That's what it is. He's
Are you
upset
jealous
about
that you're not rich? You know, Greg hates rich people. I don't know if you know this.
Yes, he hates us very much.
He's very jealous of these crystal. How
like
big? What's
jasper.
the biggest? What is a large crystal? Is it something you can hang on the wall?
Well, I mean, one of these that they're using as an example in the article is a throne. This whole it's amethyst, $34,000.
Why don't you just buy
$45,000? Excuse me.
Just buy a neon sign. Put it in this as you walk in.
It's a boulder chair.
If you walk into the door, it just says "We're rich." Just flashes.
We're rich. In case you didn't know.
So this is actually when I say it's a chair or a throne, it's been carved, but it's a large geode that's been hollowed out, exposing the amethyst. I've always thought.
Does that have healing powers?
Somewhere thinks that it does. I've
to
always
help my
found these things to be
hemorrhoids if I
somewhat
sit
tacky.
on it? Hey, wait a minute. I have questions. I have hemorrhoids. If I sit on this thing, will it heal me?
Yeah, it'll pop them.
Okay. Well, I don't want that.
It'll rip them.
I've always found crystals. Am I wrong with this to be tacky? If I go into someone's home and they're on
of course.
display, I'm like, what
No,
is
you
this?
walk in. If you walk into a home and if there's a couple crystals because they look cool, that's one thing. But if they are healing crystals, my first thought is this may be a nice person, but they ain't getting into Harvard anytime soon. We'll be back. All right, Greg Russ. Greg sent a couple of photos by text of these rich people and their large crystals, and one lady is sitting in one, and then the other one is crystal coffin.
It looks like she's lying down in it.
Yeah,
It looks like a coffin.
it's Autumn's name. Didn't you front an emo band or something in the early? I think she had an Athens band, emo band.
Oh yeah,
she called herself Crystal Coffin. Quite popular, but not something that you could actually record with, you know.
She played at the Georgia Theater, though. She made it all the way there.
Yeah, she had a few fans, but yes.
Did you not realize from her silence she doesn't want to talk about these days?
Yes. I know. It's an embarrassment, but you know what?
It was a difficult time in my life.
I feel like, English Nick was managing the band. It didn't work out.
Hey, Crystal! Yeah.
She'd come out in a big crystal coffin, and I thought it was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
The songs were terrible. That's where the whole band fell down. The whole look was great. It turned out the songs were terrible.
Yeah, you know some of those bad girl bands where it just sounds like
yeah, we're girls. Girls rock. You have any other stories from Studio B1, Greg Russ?
There are reality shows in the works that will send regular people to space. Who wants to be an astronaut? The premise is to send people to the International Space Station. Can you imagine this? You're working up there in the International Space Station.
Hey!
You've got these
Hi, guys!
Showing up.
Hi, guys!
Oh my God, so crazy.
What's the feng shui here?
Smash the button.
Real Housewives of Space.
They're fighting.
They get some kind of throwdown.
You're garbage!
Well, here's the thing. I've heard that it stinks like hell in the International Space Station. They don't change their clothes.
Because think about the difficulty of changing clothes and then washing the clothes.
Yeah,
they
just
just conserve.
You wear your underwear until you can smell yourself. This is true.
Yep.
And then they throw them away.
They just launch them into space.
They launch them into space.
We got a frozen underwear problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be the first thing aliens find when they start making their way to Earth, just the discarded.
Well, I think the first thing they're going to find is like episodes of The Honeymooners. We got to go find these people. They're hilarious.
They abuse their females.
Then they will be bumping into frozen underpants.
As they approach. Razier crushes their spacecraft's windshield. That underwire traveling at tens of thousands of miles per hour, that'll do some damage.
Oh, believe me. And underwear. Did you say underwire?
I said a bra at some point would be flying.
Why would the bras smell?
Hey, the great thing about having a reality show in space is that we would actually know for a fact that it stinks up there, because that those people are going to look over at the hidden cam and they're going to be like, oh my God, it smells so bad in here. And they would start complaining about it, which the astronauts have not done.
What people don't know in the confessional, people don't know is before she was the first woman in space, she was the first woman who wouldn't bathe. There's tension on the International Space Station.
Hey, like a pack of wolves.
Yeah, remember you did the story about how the space station, the Russian module had gotten there and there was a little trouble, but it was nothing to worry about?
Oh, yeah, not a big deal.
Yeah. Turns out, the government lies to us about everything, apparently. It was a big deal.
Yes.
The entire space station flipped over.
Yes.
Wow.
The module connected. It accidentally engaged its thrusters, and it rotated the thing. And if it had done it enough, they could have got caught in a spin.
Yeah, out of control. And we're told, it was no big. You know what? The astronauts didn't even know there was a problem. What is the need to lie congenitally as a government? I mean, it's just
not to freak people out. I guess.
There's only the people that were going to get freaked out were the people who were on the station. They knew what happened. I'm not going to get freaked out.
Maybe Jeff Bezos was like, don't freak people out about space because I'm going to make money off of them.
Most people don't care. That's the truth these days.
Oh, they would if all of a sudden that thing started spying. That would be suddenly who's wearing a mask and where would not matter. It would recede. Oh my God, we got people who might die on the space station, and that would be 24. Suddenly, conflict is the essence of drama. News coverage is more drama than actual news now. And let me tell you, I was thinking about this the other day, Greg. I will tell you what killed news in this country. It was that baby Jessica That is what killed news in this country, because it was when it was a realization in newsrooms that people will follow a news story like they follow a miniseries or a soap opera. If there's human element, conflict, danger, you can keep them tuning in. What was that, like 72 hours before they got poor little Jessica out of the well? I'm not holding her responsible. She was just a little baby who crawled
fell
over
in a well.
Fell in a well. It's not her
Think of
fault.
the guys who were stuck in the mine, and then all the Elon Musk got involved, and then he got angry.
That was the kids.
Storylines.
Do you remember the guys in South America? Was it Chile or something? They got stuck in a mine for a day, or maybe a month or something, and the whole world was watching. And then when they came out of the mine, for one of the miners, his wife was there and his mistress. They didn't know about each other. That was a guy who was like, you know what, maybe I'm hoping we don't get out of here. All right, Greg Russ.
Okay.
Great job.
Well,
I appreciate you. And we will
enjoy the moment.
Yes, live in the moment, because what do we always live in, Greg?
The moment. And now that moment's over. And now this moment where I said that moment's over is over. And that moment's over.
That's why we call it the eternal now. It is always right now. Well. I thought the show was over. I was wrong. There's still a little less than an hour and a half, Shaney B. I see you back there. You look like you've mentally checked out.
Oh, no. I am in the now. I'm very mindful at this moment, but I am in the now.
Don't be mindful, except being mindful of being in the now.
That's it.
Then let you empty your mind out. Nothing worse than a full mind. It's like a full bladder. No relief in sight. What do we have here? Experts say?
Yes, we do.
Hey, by the way, there's somebody cracked that New York vaccine passport app thing already. Because you could either show your card, which obviously that's easy to forge. You know, what are you going to pay? I mean, if you can get into a bar when you're 19 because you can get an ID, how hard is it going to be? This thing isn't even laminated, doesn't have a star on it.
Paper.
Yeah, it's a piece of paper. People, so you know, oh, who cares, Eric? We all know it's theater. We just put up with it, right? Mm-hmm. What matters is the restaurateur cannot be sued because it looked like you. You know, right? Everything is about CYA. But there's also an app you can get, and basically you put your information in, and some guy put in a picture of Mickey Mouse, and it was accepted, and he was verified as as being vaccinated.
That's right.
In the city of New York. I don't know, people. You can live in the real world, or you could just participate in theater. You know, there hasn't been a bomb in anybody's shoes in 15 years. You know, you still take them off. Have
20.
you noticed that? 20, yeah. You notice that?
Yeah.
What do you think, that that machine that scans your whole body, they can't put something underneath you that looks at your feet? Yeah, we like it. We like it. Take off your belt. Put all your stuff in these different bins. Stand in line. You want to get on that plane? 10 jumping jacks. Right now. Let's do this.
The experts say.
Experts say.
No experts are warning.
Experts say.
Experts say.
Experts say.
The experts say on the Von Hessler Doctrine.
There's a little too much saliva in that one.
I'm hearing you go.
Well, I got gum back here because
You got gum. Oh, okay. That's what
I have
it is.
gum.
That tooth.
I have that tooth.
Yeah.
And it's jagged.
You didn't get it fixed yet?
I had I'm a very busy man.
Yeah.
I had meetings yesterday trying to figure out the future. I had a meeting yesterday about my plan to save the radio industry. Oh, I was laughed out of the room. But the point is, it's about effort. And that takes a while.
Was it Chucko the vomiting clown?
That's the future.
Maybe a part of it. Vomiting clowns on the radio, I think, could be a part of making this once great industry relevant again. Yes.
That would have been a lot easier to draw than Greg Russ driving a bus.
Oh, yeah, because we're calling it the Russ Bus.
Yeah.
You just got to have him doing something. Look, just draw him in some kind of way that he'll be upset.
Frown.
I'm not driving this bus.
It says on the bus where you see the street name that is going to, in the digital thing at the top of the bus, he has who cares? 2 question marks.
Doesn't matter anyway.
You see Greg's face driving the bus. Experts say, well, what we learned a long time ago is if you just put those two words in a headline, people just accept it and walk. They don't ask questions. Who's the expert? Where'd they go to school? Where in their class did they graduate? Experts say. This is what I'm trying to get across to you, ladies and gentlemen. There's always an expert that disagrees. There's nothing that every expert agrees on. So if you're told that experts say this in a news story, that's actually editorializing, because you have to be choosing the experts who say what the headline says, right?
Yes, exactly.
So we have a little fun with it, since you're just, if you hear those two words, you just stick it in your back pocket and say, well, that must be the truth. For heaven's sakes, experts say it. And you don't know who these people are. You know, they could be horrible to their children. You don't know. You know, they could be the kind of, that expert could have cut you off in traffic yesterday. That could be the person that you're shaking your fist at. We have no idea who these people are. But since, you're half brain dead, we thought we'd play along. And the only rule in this segment is that every headline has to have those two words in it. Experts say.
All right, this first one comes from TrueNewJersey.com. So apparently there's an issue in New Jersey going on.
Well, there's the false New Jersey. The one that they say is a really beautiful state that you want to go live in.
The
That's
Garden
false.
State.
Yeah, the Garden State.
Northern New Jersey has some beautiful farmland and trees.
Yeah, northern everywhere has some beautiful stuff, but most of New Jersey is New Jersey, and you know that. And that's the true New Jersey that I'm looking for.
Here's their headline.
Oh, by the way, a lot of concrete, really high taxes. Who could ask for anything more? Go ahead.
Here's how experts say you should talk to someone who is hesitant or says no to the vaccine, guys.
Well, first of all, you could be like Jennifer Aniston and just refuse to talk to anybody who doesn't agree with you on everything.
Do you believe that? I don't believe
She said it.
No, I don't.
She
But I
said,
don't believe
you don't believe it.
I don't believe that she would do that. Brad Pitt, or no, she's not friends with him anymore, maybe. But,
yeah.
Some of her cast members from Friends, like, say, Joey. I don't know his real name. Doesn't want to get...
His name is Matt LeBlanc. Thank you. Show some respect.
Hey, I'm not going to get the vaccine. Yeah, I'm not going to talk to you.
I'm not going to talk anymore. No, they're all the beautiful people in Hollywood. They all got they're all. No, so Jennifer Aniston just doesn't talk to anybody and cuts off anybody. You're not going to be invited to that next really powerfully boring Jennifer Aniston house party where you can stand around and talk about electric vehicles with Ted Danson.
Yeah.
I think she's into the gummies.
Oh, well, okay. I'm fully vaccinated. There's now room.
Yeah.
I can go join her. But you know what? You're going to end up running into, like, Gwyneth Paltrow and be stuck in some conversation about healing.
You want to smell my candle?
Oh, gosh.
Tim.
I want to source that candle.
Take off my pants.
Or pants candle. All right.
So the fine folks at TrueNewJersey.com say that you should adopt a curious mindset, not one of criticism, when asking someone why they haven't gone.
Why are you not as enlightened as me?
Yeah.
Did you vote for Orange Badman? I'm thinking maybe you did. Because, there's like 40% of healthcare workers that won't get vaccinated. Definitely the Trump demo.
All the doctors.
Unionized nurses. Yeah, definitely. There's some MAGA folk. That's right there.
The postal workers all voted for Trump.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. We're not being fed a line of BS on exactly who is vax hesitant.
The experts go on to say.
Remember Vax Hesitant?
Oh, yeah.
There's a kind of character actor.
Mornings, right? Morning radio?
Well, that's what he ended up in.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
He was known as the Thomas Mitchell of his day. Great character actor. Anyway, go ahead.
The experts go on to say, this is an associate professor from Rutgers University. She says, try not to sound judgmental and ask questions that help you understand their concerns.
Why are you not?
Your business.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Your business.
But on Twitter, it's my business.
It's my business because it's everybody's business.
Do you want an example, guys? She gives an example.
Oh, we're going to role play?
Yeah, she says, for example.
Oh, boy, you're dealing in pure BS when they roll out the role play.
She says, for example, avoid things like, quote, that's a silly concern, or, quote, why would you be worried about that?
How about try this one?
That's a silly concern.
Hey, that's a silly concern.
Your concerns are ridiculous.
Who talks like that?
That is a silly concern. As concerns go,
Silly.
Yeah.
Your concerns are silly.
Why, how dare you to refer to my concerns as silly? I'll be my wife. Honey, I believe it is time to leave. So why are we leaving? I'm having fun over here with Esther. Yeah, there's still somebody named Esther. I'm having a good conversation. How come we have to leave? Because, no, we need to leave. She said that my concerns are silly, and I'm not going to take that sitting down. We're out of here. Thank you.
This wonderful professor goes on to say, if it does become political, try to switch focus to the personal implications of vaccinations.
Oh, yeah. He goes, hey, do you want to kill your grandparents? What's that about? Do you hate your grandparents? What if you really do hate your grandparents?
Yes, I hate them very much.
Hey, my grandfather abused me. Okay, hey, listen, I don't know, maybe you don't like your grandfather. I don't know.
Give him COVID.
What if that happens? Okay, right.
Well,
can't you just stab him? Can't you just stab him?
Is this really what we want? Is
it's what they want.
Ideas of how to talk.
Hey, Ross Perot. What do you mean they? What are you talking about?
They. The smarty, snooty pants people.
Hey, you're fully vaccinated.
I know I am, but I'm not lording it over people.
I'm fully vaccinated. Everybody on this show is fully vaccinated. I hear there's a booster, and I know people. Yeah, whenever Moderna needs a booster, give me a call.
They didn't make as much money as Pfizer.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Tim Andrews is on every side of this issue.
How can you?
He is on every... And first, that's another thing. I see this morning, the big Moderna or Pfizer made all kinds of... Well, why wouldn't they? Mm-hmm. They created a vaccine in a year to try to save the planet. Well, we don't think that they should make money. Well, really, how are you going to get people to work 90 hours a week on the next vaccine that you need when you tell them there will be no payoff monetarily?
Well...
You should just be, hey, you do 90 hours a week just out of the goodness of your heart.
How much did they give to Dr. Fauci?
I don't know. How much did they give Dr. None.
Touché.
0.
Yeah.
I love when people just ask questions. Do you have any evidence that Pfizer get?
But I can ask questions, can't I?
You ask it in such a way that, well, we all know what the answer is.
Hey, you know, the important thing, Tim, is that the three of us, at least, are Team Moderna, okay?
That's right. Well, you know what I'll do with the booster is I'll give everybody else 3 weeks, and if people's heads don't explode.
That's always your go-to.
My whole thing is
that's a silly concern.
Oh, how dare you to question the silliness of my concerns.
Hold on. Let me change that so that I can ask a question that helps me understand.
And can you be curious, please?
Yeah. Why do you have such silly concerns?
Oh, that's not helping. Who says Who says my concerns are silly?
I didn't say your concerns were silly.
You're the one who moved into a hotel for a month because you didn't like the backsplash behind your oven. Now that's a silly concern.
Well, that was different.
Check your privilege.
Yeah, but still.
You got a crystal the size of a coffin in the living room.
Well,
that's my coffin. Don't look at it.
It helps keep viruses away.
Is that what it does?
Yes. Not corona, but the other ones.
Remember that thing, though? What was the evangelist Jim Baker? What was he? They ended up having to pay a bunch of money because it had what was that stuff that they were saying would cure?
The food?
Silver nitrate?
The nitrate,
and people were turning blue or whatever. They ended up having to pay like $80,000, which I'm sure when the people are like, hey, wait a minute, I thought I was paying to get my prayers answered. I'm actually paying the government for a lawsuit? I mean, where's he getting 80,000, whatever amount of money, 200, whatever it was? The prayer line.
Yep.
The prayer/lawsuit line. Call in right now.
I didn't think he could get any nuttier, but, because he went through all that crazy stuff in the 80s. You watch that thing that he does now with his nutso wife. He just goes, wow. And he's eating with a giant spoon. He's eating mac and cheese out of a bucket.
Oh, is that the survival bucket?
Yeah, and then he goes, you can use these to poop in when you're done.
Yeah, well, look at that. So recycling.
Cheesy rice and broccoli.
Yeah. Wow.
You leave them out in the woods long enough, come back, it'll make its own potatoes.
Yes.
This bucket makes, 28 pounds of broccoli cheddar soup.
Remember I don't know if you did, but I knew his son a little bit.
His son used to go on your old show, The Funky
Really
Bunch.
cool guy.
Yeah.
He was a cool guy.
He was the tattooed minister.
Yeah. He used to do he had a ministry at that time that was, they would meet like at the Star Bar or something. Which is what you're supposed to do. You got to reach out to people. I'm not a religious scholar, but I think you have to reach out to people who maybe need a little help. I would say the more Mercedes-Benz that are in the parking lot of your church, the more likely that's a social club. But if you're meeting people who are strung out maybe on the streets. And little 5, maybe you're actually doing the work of the Lord. Possibility.
Seriously entertaining.
The Von Hessler Doctrine.
Weekdays, 9 to noon.
On 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You have an expert say story that has rain in it.
Oh, I sure do. This is from bestlife.com.
Oh, is this, do I read that in order that I can figure out how to get to my best life, or just read about other people who have attained that?
Both.
Oh. Because I get jealous.
They have listicles to make sure that you reach your best life, but then other people are bragging about their best
if
life.
they have listicles, at least we know that dumb people are going to this
That's
website.
right. It's a great site. If you live in Gwinnett County, guys, prepare for it to be, quote, raining cockroaches, experts say.
What?
Yeah.
I told you it was the end of the world.
It is. Look, there's cockroaches raining out the sky.
That's the apocalypse, right?
That's what it says in one of them books.
There's cockroaches. It will rain cockroaches from the sky.
And the Lord said, watch out for the cockroach.
And here they come. What has actually happened? Are there clouds of cockroaches making their way over the Pacific as we speak?
Yeah,
and
they're flying over.
Kind of making their way here, or how's it working?
Yeah, it's hot summer temperatures, and we've got these afternoon showers that are coming up, and the cockroaches are climbing up in the trees, and when the rain hits the trees, it knocks them on you when you're walking around.
Okay, I get it. Just total hyperbole. Yeah. It's not going to be raining cockroaches anywhere.
Well,
okay, I get it. Thank you. Thank you to all the experts who helped us out on Experts Say. We'll be back. Hour 3 of the Von Hessler Doctrine begins right now. Beginning of the Olympics, I took some interest, more than I expected. I got to say, this last week, nothing.
Really?
No, I just haven't watched anything. What's the medal count right now?
Right now, the U.S., we have 98 total medals. We're blowing everybody away there.
But what about the ones that count?
Come on. The golds, China's beating us. They have 36. We have 31. So it's a 2-horse race going to the end here.
And they're going to show the men's basketball tonight at 10:30.
That's right.
And this is the gold medal game.
Correct.
I said the first time that I saw them, when they lost to France, that I think that they get their act together. They're just a better team. And that they would, I thought they were going to get the gold. Now they play France again. My prediction, and I think probably we'll know, right? I think probably if it's going to be on 10:30 tonight, it's probably being played right now.
That's what I'm looking for.
What are they, 12 hours ahead of us?
I
or
think
something?
it's 12, yeah.
So my prediction is not only are we going to beat France, we're going to beat the crap out of them. We're going to win. We're going to win by double digits. Because you're not going to come back against Lillard and Durant and all that, and do that again. So that's my prediction. And remember it here on day one when everyone was throwing them under the bus. I watched that game and I said, I think they're still the best team in the Olympics and I think they're going to win the gold. France does not have a chance. Hey, that rhymes. France does not have a chance. Turn on your microphone, Wes Moss. You can't speak yet. Let's do this.
What's the market doing with Money Matters, Wes Moss?
Now you can speak, Wes Moss. The gymnastics worst performance since men's, not women's. Women did pretty good, even with the Simone Biles stuff. The men's gymnastics worst outing for U.S. men's gymnastic since the modern games began.
Really?
Yeah, Carl Lewis called him out, said it was embarrassing. I don't know, and I don't know why. I think that with young people, I think that, and I don't know, this is just speculation, Wes Moss, but I just think representing the country right now maybe doesn't have you had the wrestling girl that everybody loved. Well, Fox News loved her.
She's an American. She loves her country.
MSNBC and CNN didn't give her much play, but Fox News is all over.
God forbid she likes America.
She actually said she loves representing the United States of America and pulled the flag closer to her. But I just think overall, I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad crop. Not bad crop, but just not that good. But there's no reason why male. Actually, I think track and field is really what I'm talking about. Carl Lewis called them out. I think it's track and field. I'm sorry. I think it's the worst outing by men's track and field since the modern Olympics. And it's America. Why? We have a very vibrant track and field thing in America. We've always done well. So maybe it's just a crop that one of them didn't even make the finals. So
it's
no
interesting
medals.
to me too. The girl sprinter for the United States. Remember?
Yeah.
She won.
The
Sha'Carri
one,
Richardson, I believe, and
the one that got stoned.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's really kind of would have been the new face of track and field for the United States, and she might still be because she's only 21.
Okay,
but she
gotta put down
is,
the bong though.
I mean, she could have competed.
Right?
She is the fastest thing.
She's the fastest woman on earth, I think.
Right.
And
then they kicked her out.
Well, listen, there are rules. I'm a big legalize it kind of guy. I'm a big. I think I heard somebody that was in the NFL say this. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter if you think that you should be able to take this or take that or whatever. If you want to be in the NFL, if there's a rule that says you can't eat pizza, you just don't eat pizza. Doesn't matter. Does your love for pizza, is that more than your need or want to be in the NFL? So although normally you would expect me to say, because I'm a legalize it guy.
Oh, what's the big deal?
It is kind of silly, but her goal, her lifetime goal is to be in the Olympics. If there's a rule that says you can't get high, just wait until after the Olympics to get high.
When you're 18, 19, 20, and I know that this was obviously closer to the Olympics, obviously this happened. The reality is that these may be the best athletes on the planet, literally the fastest people in the world, most athletic in the world, but they're still just, if you think about it, they're
making
kids,
mistakes.
Right?
See,
I mean, you're 20, do you really have, now some of us do, right? So, but
Not
a lot
mine.
of people don't.
When I was 20, you kidding me? You wonder why so many of these athletes, like they're great in college, let's go back to football, and how many of them bust in the NFL. Well, why? Because they had like $2 million dropped into their bank account along the way. And a lot of people who are 22 years old don't know how to deal with that. That's, and in the Olympic,
really.
In the Olympic, well, if you're a little bit older, like for me, if I would have had, if I would have had $2 million in my bank account for some reason when I was 20,
it would be gone.
I would have died of an STD by the time I was 25. I'm sure of it. I just would have got, it would have been Party Central. Hey, nothing could hurt me. I got money, and I'm totally obnoxious. If a few $1 million dropped out of the sky right now, that'd be very, 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 very good with
probably nothing would change at this point.
Nothing would change.
Yeah,
I would just have a little more comfort.
Yeah,
that's it.
cushion.
I wouldn't buy a new big house. I wouldn't do anything like that. I would just be like, okay, that's good. That's there.
And that's why I think that when families do, and I'm just going to bring up a terribly boring topic.
No. Hey, you are the host of Retire Sooner. Yeah, the greatest retiring sooner podcast in all of the podcast world, sir. Go ahead.
Well, I appreciate that. It's a fight every day to stay there. But I will tell you that it is a real question mark for families when they get into their 50s and 60s and 70s, and they go from worrying about the money running out. And I've had a lot of these conversations over the last couple of years. A, my clients have gotten older. B, the market has done so well. And they look and they say, wow, we were just trying to get to a certain point, and now we're way beyond. And instead of saying, do we have enough, they start looking at their assets and they say, there's no way we're going to spend all of this. And then it's like, okay, how am I going to gift this to the next generation? And the way I've structured this for my kids and I tell a lot of families this.
You have to get around these laws, right, that make it bad. I don't mean cheating. I mean, you have to recognize that there are laws that you have to work around if you want your kids to actually get a lot of that money, right?
Well, I think you're talking about the death tax or the estate tax. And that is...
Can you start gifting that out like 10 years before you die?
You can start using what's called your unified credit before you die. You just use it up upon your passing.
What if I don't care what happens?
It's a big number.
What if I don't care what happens to people after I'm dead?
It's almost $12 million each right now.
So
you could leave almost $24 million in the next generation without estate tax. Now, the Congress is talking about changing
What if I don't care what happens to people after I die? Can I be buried with it? Is that against the law?
Yeah, like an Egyptian pharaoh.
Extract the cash. Hey, what if the first thing I see on the other side is a trading post or something, and I'm strapped for cash?
But I think the point here is that where I'm comfortable is saying, if something happens to me now and my kids are still little, then they really can't have access to the full money. There has to be some sort of trustee or a trust company to be able to slowly give them money. Yeah. But by the time they're 35, and I've seen this over and over and over and over again, they are fully baked economic humans, meaning that money really doesn't change them a whole lot. At 20, sure, even at late 20s,
so
but by the time you're 35...
The worst thing you can do is have this stuff locked up until they're 21, which is a legal age. Because at 21, almost nobody knows how to deal with being wealthy.
Should be 35 in my opinion. That's what 35. I have for my kids.
That's how old 35. That's how old you have to be if you want to be a senator. It might as well be how old you have to be. Am I right? Is it 35? 30. Well, okay. Maybe you should be 30. If you can be a senator, you should be. Oh no! Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Amend the documents. I think 35.
AOC's not so good with the money. So yeah, you're right. Let's push it up to 35. Non-financial question: are you wearing an undershirt? I'm sensing some nipplage here.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got a little. Your
white shirt.
Your Yamamotos are showing. That's all I'm saying.
It's the white shirt.
Okay. I just I'm enjoying.
No,
it's not a joke.
Not at all. Hey, what?
Hey, did you say you had I think President Biden had a new slogan for the vax hesitant?
Oh.
There it is.
Get the jab, bitch.
Seems a little.
Hey, I'm not playing. Hey, no. I'm not playing.
Seems a little in your face. I don't know.
Get that jab.
That's going to be on all the slogans. Get the jab, bitch.
Okay. Get the jab. Yeah.
All right, sir.
But here's one thing I was going to tell you. I didn't tell you until we're now on air, but you were, I think earlier in the day, you were saying something about how you no longer espouse your, you say, I guess opinion's not the right word. What was the word?
Rants.
No more rants.
I don't. I have a.
You say it's like spitting in the wind, but nobody listens and it's not worth it. I think we're a little more diluted than we used to be. But I disagree with that completely.
Really?
People. I think it's diluted from where it was when there were 3 networks. We listened to 3 people. When there was 10 networks, when there was 2 radio stations, we listened to 2 people. Now there's more content to consume, and maybe your rants or your opinions get to a lower percentage of the overall population, but it's still a huge number.
I just think it's too easy to put in a category. Oh, he's middle-aged, white, talk show host. But nobody engages you on the actual policy or the question. And so if there's going to be no engagement, I just don't want this show to be like every other show where the guy's just popping off about
but you
how
can't not have your opinion. Lynn, several times in our life in the last, let's say, couple of years, I will give her an opinion about something, and obviously think about all the different things we were disagreed upon or didn't know about during COVID. And I would say something, she wouldn't agree with it, and then she'd hear you say something around the same way, and she'll be like, "Oh, well, Eric von Hessler said this."
What are you?
I'm like, what? I said the same thing, but it's only right if now Eric says it.
Are you accusing me of having something going on with you?
Have you been spending time with Lynn?
I ain't gonna answer that. You think I'm a moron, Jared Yamamoto?
No.
I have my headphones on, and he's still indicating to me, we're coming back.
You were putting them on.
I had them on, and I was explaining the concept of entropy.
Oh, it was deep.
To my friend Wes Moss.
Ooh, did you hear that shade?
What was the shade?
Oh, it was deep.
Would you like to explain a couple of... Why don't you take a crack at the second law of thermodynamics? Why don't you explain to the good people what exactly that is?
I think the goal is to keep the listeners here, right?
The goal?
No, the goal is to grow the listenership.
That is right. That is right.
And you grow.
Come on, man.
We're not growing. You know what's happening.
We've done the research. We already have all the dumb people. Now we got to reach out. Get some of them smarty pants.
And
yes.
Part of my producing duties is that I have to be annoying sometimes. I have to do my little indicators when we're coming back on the air and stuff. That's just part of it.
And as long as it's understood that one of my jobs as the host, one of my duties is to punch you in the face every once in a while. As long as
he does it with such a smile. Jared is one of these guys where he can try to be annoying, but he's always so smiling. Not a little smile.
He's always
like
smiling.
A giant smile.
He's the last person you want to get bad news from because he will annoy you while he's giving you really bad news.
Hey,
and you'll just want to push him down.
Look at the upside.
So Eric, so you were let go. So
I'm hosting the show now.
Oh, isn't that great?
Here's the good news.
The good news is I just got a show from 9 to noon. Bad news is you're out.
Yep.
All right, Wes Moss. We got the labor numbers and whatnot. We got 900. We added 900,000 jobs. We'll be down to 5.4% or something in unemployment rate. And still, with all of that, Wes Moss, small business owners reported a record high level of unfilled job openings in July. We still have jobs. At this level in this survey, small businesses, everybody had at least one position they couldn't fill, even though it's been open and it's available.
More job openings in the United States than available workers ready to get jobs, and that's
Hold on, wait a minute. Does that mean we're going to have to let foreigners come in? I'm confused.
Don't worry, they're already here.
A hire is a hire, and it's kind of, you look at the chart for where jobs are coming from. It's exactly the story we expected. Economic powder keg is going through the roof. The jobs where you would expect that there's this huge demand for the services of leisure and hospitality. So hotels are booming, restaurants are booming. They hired almost 400,000 people. Government jobs, big government jobs. Not surprising because there's so much government money floating around.
Absolutely.
Unused in the States.
It's a great way to get a pension for the rest of your life for sitting on your ass.
Professional and business services, transportation and warehousing. Again, another 50,000 jobs, healthcare. So pretty much across the board. The only place you didn't see new job growth, retail, trade, utilities, were the only places that were essentially flat to a little bit light. And that's the economic story we're continuing to see. Now, we always think of inflation in terms of goods. Tomatoes are more expensive, and the price of diapers
right now.
Yeah.
Did you know this? I found this out today. Diapers are up 12%. Because, well, not just because, but mainly because there's lumber, or I should say timber. There's lumber and petrochemicals. There's
anything plastic.
Inside petroleum-based products and lumber are inside of diapers, and all those two things are going through the roof. So
lumber prices have finally crashed. So you'll see the lagging. So what'll happen here is the lumber's through the roof. The diaper companies are going to say, hey, this is lumber and petroleum products, so their prices are going to be up. And what's going to happen? They're not going to ever lower them again. So it's a new It's going to be a new plateau.
We're used to spending this much for diapers. So,
but the cost of, again, what we don't see as consumers, we think it's diapers made of petroleum products and lumber woven with Bitcoin, so it must go through the roof. But what's really the cost that drives inflation is labor, wage inflation, the cost of labor in the United States. Number one cost for any employer, the cost of the employee. And that is what I'm seeing
that's
with
going
this
through
mismatch.
A lot of this is because people are being paid more. Some, not everybody, but some people, a good number of people. And I don't know if you put me at the right age, 20-year-old Eric Von Hessler, if I was getting more to not work than work. It took me a while to kind of develop a philosophy about the world. I think I just would have accepted the fact that, I get to have fun with my friends and I'll make more money. So it's about incentives, but that's going to go away in the next couple of months, right?
That's going to go away, and it'll be interesting because, again, it's kind of the economy and the labor dynamics and the labor force is such an aquarium where there's one ripple on one side, it always affects the other. So we always talk about, hey, you're getting $660 to stay home, and you're only going to make $600 to work, so you're going to stay home. But where I see this, and it's on kind of a different plane, is that the United States is so behind in being able to make sure technology is up to date. And we know ransomware is everywhere, and cyber attacks are everywhere. Well, guess what you can't find? If there are a million technologists available, full stack developers to be able to come in, or network architects or security experts in the United States, there's something like 2 million jobs to fill. Yes, we see it in restaurants, but on higher income folks in the 150 to 300 a year range, huge mismatch.
And I find it interesting. I was joking about it there before, but it is true. As up in arms as everybody is about immigration and all that these days, when you add what you just said to lower birth rates, the conversation is going to be totally different in 15 years. It's like we'll be doing everything we can to bring in bodies to do work because we're not producing enough new humans. Wes Moss has that great podcast, Retire Sooner. I'll let you figure out exactly what that's about. It's a little bit opaque. That's available everywhere.
What's it about?
He's also the host of Money Matters, right here every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. I listen. You should too. Thank you, Wes. Something I read a few days ago I've been meaning to bring up. With all this self-righteous stuff now with, I drive an electric car and all that. We'll get to the electric car stuff from yesterday in a moment. You don't get something from nothing. This is people don't seem to understand. You don't get something for nothing. So now, with all of this focus on solar panels and batteries for cars and all of this, right now it's becoming one of the most carbon-producing industries in the world. And if we keep ramping up with all the solar panels, if we did what AOC wants to do on every building, whatever, this is something a lot of people don't think about. Solar panels are not manufactured inside of factories that are run on solar panels. Most of them are created in coal-fired factories in China. So right now, one of the biggest polluting industries in the world, not the biggest, but if we get all the plans going that we want, will soon eclipse and be the largest carbon-producing industry in the world, solar power.
Question?
Yes.
Did the freighter ships that bring them across the Pacific Ocean run on solar power?
They do not.
Okay.
No, they don't. It turns out they don't.
They need my ship.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Greta. You had the ship that ran on the good tidings.
Good vibes.
That's right, yes.
I'll cross the ocean to get the solar panels to the United States. I'll do it.
Okay, well, it's a lot of solar panels.
I'm not in school.
So these are coal-powered plants in China. And I know that people who believe in all of this will say, well, at first, of course, because we haven't gotten there yet. So in the beginning, you're going to have to. Okay, now you have to convince me that as soon as we're done making the solar panels, China is going to start shutting down these factories. They're not just going to repurpose them to build something else. It doesn't matter about your feelings. If you want to solve problems, you first have to look at the whole problem. Then you have to decide, what can we do to mitigate the things that we don't like? Usually, that's about where you need to concentrate your energy. If any policy that you're for has the word zero attached to it, in your lifetime, you will never see that happen. You may make yourself feel better than your neighbors because you're trying, but both you and your neighbors will die in a world where we never got to carbon zero. See, it doesn't matter about your feelings. I'm telling you something that's real. The day you die, you will be on a planet that is not carbon zero. And it doesn't matter what you do. But what you could do is say, what can we do to limit the amount of carbon? We're a little worried about it. You could have a reasonable point of view like, forget about factories and stuff. Let's see if we can get cars, light things. Let's see if we can not use it for everything. And you know what would happen when you limit that kind of scale is on the way to doing small things, you might stumble over a breakthrough technology that does something really big. But if the whole concept is you want to be the smartest person at your next cocktail party when you tell everybody how hard you're working to get to carbon zero planet, I hope that you get a lot of self-esteem out of that. The planet is going to get nothing out of it. This is not about the planet. This is about you. If you think that, if you want to, hey, how can we be cleaner with our energy than we are? Because there's a lot of reasons to have clean air and clean water and all these things. But if the policy that you're fighting for has the word zero attached to it, it's not about the policy. It's about you feeling good about yourself. You're not doing anything for the planet. So if you believe that if we just create more and more and more and more and more solar panels, and that's good for the planet, you have to willfully ignore the fact that most of them are being manufactured in coal-fired plants in China, where, by the way, they don't really seem to care about the air much either. So you feel better. But the planet has actually gotten worse. Now, yesterday, we haven't gotten to this audio. So there's this fiasco, to me, a complete fiasco yesterday, where Biden had big car manufacturers, and they're going to try to get to carbon. They want to get to Right now, I believe 3% of vehicles that are sold are electric, and most of those are Teslas. So they got together yesterday to say, what, they're going to try to get to, 40 to 50% by 2030?
We have announcements today from automakers representing nearly the entire auto industry market who have positioned around the ambition of 40 to 50% of all vehicles sold by 2030 in America being electric.
Yeah. You know how they're going to do that? You want to know why they're gathering around? Yeah, we'll build electric cars. If you subsidize us with taxpayer money to do it, and you subsidize the buyer, $10,000 back, that'll come from taxpayers. And, oh, wait, I'm not done. That infrastructure bill. You got to build charging stations all over America. Yeah, I'm from Exxon. I ain't paying for that. So we need taxpayers to pay for those things. And, oh, by the way, the one car manufacturer that is selling almost all of those 3% of vehicles that are electric that are being sold, Tesla, not invited. Pete Buttigieg, who is the Secretary of Transportation, was asked, I believe, on Sunday, why wasn't Tesla invited?
Mr. Secretary, there's one car manufacturer that seems conspicuously absent from this event today, and that is Tesla. I'm curious why.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, that was really cool, hip mayors from small cities can lie to you as well, and that's what that was. That was a lie. He knew exactly why Tesla was not invited. And the reason is because this is complete phony baloney politics. Tesla wasn't invited because Tesla's not unionized. So because there would be, who knows, on social media with the AOCs would say, hey, they don't have unions. We got to figure out a way to revolutionize ourselves and get to 40 to 50% electric vehicles without Elon Musk because we don't like the way he runs his company. Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He's busy going to Mars anyway. There's probably nothing Elon Musk could tell us. So when you know right there is that political policies, political points of view, oh, we don't like that guy. So the guy who sold almost every electric vehicle in this country, we don't like the... So that tells you that this is not 80, that's not 75, 80, 90, or 98. This is... What happened yesterday was 100% BS, because it's not going to happen, and 100% political. Hopefully I'll still be alive in 2030. Somebody come find me and tell me I was wrong. In 2030, 40 to 50% of the vehicles sold in America will not be electric. But that corporate welfare, those companies, oh, they're going to steal a lot of your taxpayer dollars. That absolutely is going to happen. In 2030, the planet will not be one little bit better off because of what you saw yesterday.
The Von Hessler Doctrine.
Very funny and doesn't toe any party line.
They politically don't piss me off.
Weekdays 9 till noon on 95.5 WSB.
This must be it for Meghan McCain on The View. I'm seeing a montage. It looks like a montage of all the reasons we couldn't stand her.
They keep showing Trump.
I know. I see. I don't hear anything. I'm only seeing things. So I guess this is the last day. Do we know who's gonna, take the chair and be called a racist?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Who's the moderate Republican that's going to take that chair and be called a racist for the next 2 or 3 years? Have they picked anybody for it?
I'm looking for it now.
So.
Let's see. Oh, I see the 9 viewer picks here. This is the
Candace Owens. She should be at the top of the list.
No, it's going to be.
She's my favorite celebrity.
Yeah, she's done. Yeah, the. Who did you just say?
These are the 9 viewers picks. This is what the viewers want.
Oh, okay. This is
SE Cup.
Yeah. How about that guy they're thinking about for Jeopardy? Maybe I don't know. What his politics
Mike
are.
Richards.
Seems like they've got their that guy's got a target on his back.
Yes, he does already.
One day we hear that they're it looks like they're going to go with this. What's his name? Richards.
Michael Richards.
Yeah, so, not the one from Seinfeld.
Now that I would be behind 100%.
Yeah, one day. We hear the story yesterday. It looks like they're already negotiating with this guy. He's going to be the permanent host. My news aggregator was they were just waiting.
We wanted LeVar Burton.
Yeah, people, how did he do? He's got a crowd of people that want him to be the next Jeopardy host. I didn't watch it, so I don't know how well he did. But he kind of was thirsty and like, okay, you can do it. All right.
Reading Rainbow.
Started the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the millennials and the Reading Rainbow crap. We want to see him now that we're old.
It's nostalgic.
Reading Rainbow crap.
So this guy.
What about Next Gen?
Hold on. This guy.
You're not a millennial.
No, she isn't.
No, thank you.
Yes, you are.
This guy, one day, 24 hours, not even in the news cycle, that he's going to be the next host. And turns out he's the most horrible person who's ever lived. I know that we've already told you that, what are we, in the 8th month of the year? We've already told you about 934 other Americans who are the worst people who've ever lived. And we were only able to cancel like 400 of those. But in case you still got a little bit of wiggle and one nerve that can be rattled just a little bit, turns out this guy, worst person ever. He's been producing game shows for a very long time. And guess what happens? Guess what happens when you have a show that has to be on 5 days a week, and it has to be good, and it has to be up to a standard? Every once in a while, the boss gets a little pissed off. And so, over all these years, no one's going to report on the 98% of the time that he was actually a very nice person. But let's focus on the 2%. You know, he popped off at somebody or said something to somebody. This is how. And by the way, we can throw it out there on social media, and none of you that have opinions have ever met this human being. But don't let that stop you. Just look at the hearts and the likes. What do your friends think? Jump on board. You'll feel good. Oh, so what if this guy doesn't get the Jeopardy gig? He's probably rich already anyway. But there's no way that comes out that big. 3 stories about this guy and how horrible he's been in everybody's news aggregator if they didn't have that ready to go. Right? Mm-hmm. That means the people that don't want certain people to be the host of Jeopardy, they got a few files. They got Richards, Aaron Rodgers. They got all these. Anyone basically who's not LeVar Burton, they have files on. I mean, isn't it obvious? Nobody look. Oh, what, that guy? Hey, let me look around. No. This was ready to go. And these are stories that you would never have heard if he was not currently negotiating to be the permanent host of Jeopardy. Who in the world cares that much about who's going to host a damn game show? Who cares? Maybe he'll host it and the ratings will go down and then he'll get fired. Maybe he'll host it and the ratings will go up and it'll be a wonderful thing. Wouldn't it be nice to let viewers of Jeopardy decide who the host is going to be? Because the people who put the files together, they ain't watching every night. You know, it's like all these people that speak up on social media and they've destroyed all the Marvel movies and Star Wars and Star Trek and everything. Turns out you can't count on them to watch an unwatchable episode of Batwoman on the CW. But if you don't do what they want, they will roast you on social media. And if you're a spineless CEO in media, you will respond to that. But they will not be there because they never loved Batman or Batwoman or Batgirl or anything. You're a box that has been checked. They'll check back on you every once in a while and make sure you're doing the right thing. Meanwhile, you lose everybody who has been buying your merchandise and your comic books and seeing your movies, your figurines. How many, I would like to see sales of figurines from the new Star Wars characters as opposed to how many of these, I call them figurines, are they dolls, whatever?
Figures.
Figures. From the old days. Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. I wonder, compared to that, how's the Poe merchandise doing?
I bought a Baby Gil, a Ray doll.
Oh, Ray. Oh, yeah, that's why I meant Ray.
Yeah, I
get
threw it
confused.
out in the yard.
I always... What's the name of the guy who's like the Han Solo
Poe.
guy?
You got it right.
Is that Poe?
But it's the Ray one that you can see at the discount rack at Walgreens because no one at Walmart bought it.
Yeah. You know what else nobody buys? Nobody cares in America. The new Doctor Who figurine.
I bought it.
No, nobody buys these things.
One.
Because the people who demand that you change your thing are not actual fans. They're not going to come back. Hey, Falcons are... Is there a practice people can
Practice
go to?
at Mercedes-Benz tomorrow, 2 o'clock. Also offering vaccines if you decide to go, too.
Matt Ryan, you going to give it?
Yeah.
You feel good about the season? Uh-huh. Okay. Well, go out there and have a good time. Good luck to the Falcons. The NFL is upon us. That makes me happy. That music says I got to shut up. We'll be back on Monday morning, 9 a.m. You're all invited to join us then. But until then, continue on your journey. Do not piss off the genie. Thanks for listening to the Von Hessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Here are 3 common sense ways to prevent vehicle theft. 1. Park in a well-lit space. 2. Don't leave valuables in sight. 3. Close your windows, lock your doors, and take your keys. Find more tips at heatreward.com/prevention.